What's going on, everyone? Burbank Aviation here, and welcome back to another video. Today we have the June 2025 San Antonio International Airport update for you guys. We got a very exciting airport update here today with seasonal resumptions, a new model, and all sorts of stuff to go over here in today's video. Really hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please make sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps me out. And anyways, let's just get started. We're going to start on over here with the taxiing aircraft, starting with the Southwest 737-800 in the Tennessee 1 livery. This guy's going to be heading on over to Dallas left field after arriving in from Chicago Midway. Dallas is an 8 daily, going down to 6 daily on Sundays and 5 daily on Saturdays, while Chicago Midway is a solid anywhere from 2 to 3 daily. Got the Delta A220-100. This guy is going to be heading on over to Minneapolis, St. Paul after arriving in from Salt Lake City. Minneapolis is a 3 daily, getting 2 of these A220-100s and then 1 A220-300, which you lose the -300 flight on Saturdays. And then Salt Lake City is a 3 daily, getting 2 A220-100s and an A319, and then you lose 1 of the A220-100 flights on the Saturday. Got the Alaska 77 MAX 9 in the West Coast Wonders livery. This guy's heading on over to Seattle. That is 1 of 2 daily 737 flights out to Seattle. Very awesome to have this 2 daily there. Would love to see Alaska add a summer season or to Portland, as summer definitely seems to be their strong suit out of here, but not complaining at all. Very happy with this 2 daily out to Seattle. Got the Sun Country 737-800, the 40 years of flight sticker. Sun Country has returned with their 2 seasonal services. This guy's going to be heading on over to Minneapolis after arriving from Cancun. Both these are 4 weekly, flying Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Are seasonal services that have returned, hopefully until I'd say at least September, hopefully. But very cool to have these 2 services here for Sun Country. I'm not entirely sure which gate they park in. It's really difficult to find a few certain airlines, Allegiant and Sun Country really being the 2 that are difficult to find out where they park. But I did want to include them in this video with their 2 full weekly services to Minneapolis and Cancun. Got the American 737-800. This guy's been heading on over to Dallas-Fort Worth after arriving from Charlotte. Dallas is a 13 daily, getting a SkyWest Series 700, 3 Envoy Emerson 5s, an A319, 4 A320s, 1 A321, and 3 of these 737s. Very consistent, surprisingly, but very happy to have those services. A mix of pretty much everything. And then Charlotte is a 4 daily, getting an A320, 2 A321s, and 1 737-800. And then on Saturdays, you lose 1 of the A321 flights, but still very awesome to see that right there. Got the UPS 767-300. This guy's going to be heading on over to Louisville after arriving in from there. Louisville, the only thing we're getting the 767 on this month for UPS. They want to put that in, so very cool to see it there on the 767. Got the FedEx 767. You see these quite a bit more often. This guy's been heading on over to Fort Worth after arriving in from Memphis. You also see the 767 out to Austin and Dallas, which is really cool to see right there. Got the Delta A321 here. This guy's going to be heading on over to Atlanta on the turnaround service. He just arrived in and will be taxiing to his gate. Atlanta is a mix anywhere from 7 to 8 daily, getting either 3 or 4 A320s and then 4 of these A321s. So very, very cool to see that right there. We're going to be moving on over to the gated section then, starting here in gate A2 with this Frontier A320 Neo, the Poppy the Prairie Dog livery. This guy's going to be heading on over to Las Vegas after arriving in from, actually we'll do Orlando after arriving from Atlanta. So we can include our new service that started, which is Atlanta. Both the services are twice a week, flying on Mondays and Fridays. Atlanta being the new service that started in very late May. I think it was like May 27th or something that started. So very cool to see that there for Frontier. Now up to 4 services. You also have Las Vegas and Denver. Those are either 3 weekly. Those are Sunday, Thursday, and Saturday. So very, very cool to see that there for Frontier. Got the Delta 737-800. This guy's been handing on over to JFK in the turnaround service. JFK is a 1 daily 737-800, so very cool to see that right there. Love to still be able to get the 737 in once a day. The Delta A319 is going to be heading on over to Detroit after arriving from Los Angeles. Detroit's a 3 daily A319, going down to 2 daily on Saturday. Los Angeles is just a solid 2 daily A319, so love to see the consistency right there for that. And then you got this Delta A220-100, the final aircraft here for Delta. This guy's been heading on over to Boston on the turnaround service. That is a one daily A220-100. That was one of our new services that got added. I want to say it was early this year or late last year as a result of JetBlue leaving. So really cool to see that service out to Boston. Now, we have a much needed addition here. Super glad to finally be able to get this in. Aeromexico 737-800. He's flown in for the MAX 9 today, going to be heading on over to Mexico City. I know it's not exactly what they're currently flying. They do get this 800 in a couple months throughout the year. But I'm very glad to be able to have this Aeromexico finally here. Now I need a Volaris aircraft and a Viva Airbus aircraft. But outside of that, we are looking really good. Really happy to finally have this. Really kind of a big gap that's been needed here is just filling in some of the Mexican carriers. So we got one of them, still need two more. We'll eventually need like a MAX 9 for Aeromexico and then an E195, but the 737-800 does just fine, and we'll be able to use this as long as they have the mainline service here. So really glad to have this, heading on over to Mexico City on that one daily service right there. Now we got a huge Southwest lineup today. We're going to start down, we'll start here with the 737-700 Heartland livery, or Maryland 1 livery, sorry. This guy's been heading on over to Denver after arriving from El Paso. Denver anywhere from 4 to 5 daily, El Paso a 3 daily, going down to 1 daily on Saturdays. Got the Southwest 737 MAX 8. This guy's been heading on over to Phoenix after arriving in from Baltimore. Phoenix is a 4 daily, going down to 3 daily on Sundays and 2 daily on Saturdays. Baltimore is a 3 daily, going down to 2 daily on the weekend. So very cool to see those services right there. Got the 737-700 Heartland livery wingless. This guy's been heading on over to Las Vegas after arriving from Orlando. Las Vegas anywhere from 4 to 5 daily, going down to 3 daily on Saturdays. Orlando is a 3 daily service right there, so really consistent there. Really nice to see that to Orlando. Southwest 737-800 Heartland livery split scimitars. Probably my favorite looking Southwest model. I just think they got this down beautifully. Great job by NG Models. This guy's been heading on over to Nashville after arriving from Atlanta. Nashville gets anywhere from 2 to 3 daily, so another good service right there. Atlanta is just a solid 1 daily, so great to see that right there. Southwest 737-700 Heartland livery split scimitars can be heading on over to Houston after arriving from St. Louis. Houston's a 4 daily, going up to 5 daily on the weekends, one of those rare increases you see on the weekends. St. Louis is a 2 daily, going down to 1 daily on the weekends though, so kind of balances that out right there. Got the Southwest 737 MAX 8 in the Canyon Blue Retro livery. This guy's going to be heading on over to Los Angeles after arriving from San Diego. Los Angeles is a 1 daily, San Diego a 2 daily. Really interesting to see San Diego doing better than Los Angeles, but then again, Los Angeles gets served by, you have American, Spirit, Southwest, and then I'm trying to think if there's any others. I don't think so, but multiple carriers, and Delta. So 4 carriers going out to Los Angeles, so it kind of makes sense that San Diego is a little bit higher here for Southwest. We're going to hit this American A320 while we're over here. This guy is going to be heading on over to Phoenix on the turnaround service. Phoenix is a 3 daily, getting 3 of these A320s a day. On Tuesday and Wednesday, though, it does go down to 2 daily, but still great to see those A320s out to Phoenix. The Spirit A320neo right here is going to be heading on over to Fort Lauderdale after arriving in from Los Angeles. Fort Lauderdale is a 1 daily. Los Angeles is an 8 weekly. You get a 1 daily flight and then a second daily flight on Thursdays only. So really cool to see that. You got a ton of services flying right now. You have Fort Lauderdale and Los Angeles, like I mentioned. And you have Las Vegas at a 9 weekly, Tampa at a 3 weekly, Orlando at a 5 weekly, Atlanta at a 1 daily, which is really cool to see that. And then San Juan, Detroit, Baltimore, and Nashville all at a 2 weekly. So a lot of services this month here for Spirit. Really would love to get into the Spirit model here soon. But great to see all those services here for Spirit. Southwest 737-800 Triple Crown 1 livery, probably my favorite special livery I have. This guy's been heading on over to Oklahoma City after arriving from Kansas City. Oklahoma City is a 6 weekly, flying every day except Saturday. Kansas City is a 1 daily, going up to 2 daily on Sunday. So great to see that increase right there. You got 2 aircraft left here for the Southwest, or for the A terminal, I should say. Southwest 77-700 Heartland livery winglets is going to be heading on over to New Orleans after arriving from Tampa. New Orleans is a 1 daily. Tampa is also a 1 daily, going up to 2 daily on Sundays. And the 737 MAX 8 in the back is going to be heading on over to Cancun after arriving from Albuquerque. Cancun is a 1 daily service that is one of our seasonal services has returned, along with Albuquerque, which is a Sunday only. So great to see that there for Albuquerque. Now moving on over here to the B gates, we're going to start in the back with the American 737-800. If it would focus. There we go. American 737-800. This guy's currently getting baggage and fuel on board. He's going to be heading on over to Miami on the turnout service. Miami is a 1 daily 737-800. So very cool to see that service right there for American. You got the American Eagle E175 right here. This guy's also getting some baggage on. He'll be heading on over to Los Angeles on the turnaround service. Los Angeles is a 2 daily E175, both on SkyWest, so very cool to see that right there. Got the American A321 in the Medal of Honor livery. This guy's going to be heading on over to Washington Reagan on the turnaround service. Washington Reagan is a 1 daily A321. That service started about 3 months ago, so very, very cool to have that. Glad to have that service out to Washington Reagan. And then finally here for American, you got this A319 with the sharklets, which doesn't seem to want to be focusing. This guy's going to be heading on over to Philadelphia after arriving in from Chicago O'Hare. Chicago O'Hare is a 3 daily, getting 1 A319 and 2 737-800s. On Saturdays, you get an additional A319 flight, replaces one of the 737 flights. And then Philadelphia is a 1 daily A319. That is one of our seasonal services that has returned here in the recent months. So very, very cool to have that service back. Now we're going to be moving on over here to the backside of the B terminal with the United aircraft. Starting here with this United 737-800. This guy's going to be heading on over to Denver on the turnaround service. Denver is a 4 daily, getting 1 A319, 1 A320, and 2 737-800s. So very cool to see that right there. Got the United A320 right here. This guy's going to be heading on over to Chicago O'Hare after arriving in from... Actually, no, this guy's heading on over to San Francisco on the turnaround service. Sorry about that. San Francisco is a 1 daily A320. Really cool to see the main line here to San Francisco. We've been getting the E175 majority of the time to San Francisco, but now we are getting this 1 daily A320, which I do very much prefer. Very cool to see that right there. The United 737-900 is going to be heading on over to Chicago O'Hare after arriving in from Houston. Houston is an 8 daily, getting a mix of the both Mesa and SkyWest E175, A319s, 737-700, 737-800, and the 737-900DR. Chicago O'Hare is a 3 daily, getting a SkyWest E175, a 737-800, and a 737-900DR. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, though, you get the 737-900DR and then an A320 instead of the E175 and 737-800. So very cool to see this -900DR. Flying them actually to 3 places, you get these additionally to Dulles, who's really cool to see that. Speaking of Washington Dulles, that is where this United A319 is going to be heading after arriving in from Newark. Dulles is a 2 daily, getting an A319 and a 737-900DR. You lose the 737 flight on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then Newark is just a standard 1 daily A319. So very, very cool to see that there for United. We do have quite a bit of news to go over here, so we are just going to jump straight into it. Sun Country, those 2 seasonal services have returned, both Minneapolis and Cancun, on a 4-weekly 737, so very cool to see that right there. Delta, that JFK service, is now on a 737-800. That was on a -900DR, but that is now on the 800. So a little bit of a decrease, but still a very strong service right there. Volaris, I know they are not in this update, but Mexico City is now a 1 daily. That's up from a 5-weekly. Guadalajara is now a 10-weekly, up from an 8-weekly, but they have unfortunately ended that Monterrey service. So currently just Volaris flying Guadalajara and Mexico City. Still pretty good, but definitely, I think they add 2 more in July. So next month, they had 2 new services. So really looking forward to that. Got the, for American Airlines here, you got Los Angeles, the 2nd daily flight is now on an E175. That wasn't an A319, so we've lost our main line there for this month, at least, for the LAX flight. Miami is now a 1 daily. It is down from a 2 daily, and then the Philadelphia seasonal service has resumed on that 1 daily A319. Viva Aerobus, the other airline, not in this update. The Leon service is now up to a 3 weekly from a 2 weekly, and the Monterey service is now at 11 weekly. That is down from a 2 daily. United Airlines here, the Dole service is now a 12 weekly. That is down from a 3 daily. Newark is now on an A319 that was on a 737-9 and then San Francisco is now on a 1 daily A320, which was a 12 weekly E175. So a bit of a change there for United to San Francisco. Spirit here, Las Vegas is now a 9 weekly. That is down from 11 weekly. Orlando, though, is up to a 5 weekly from a 4 weekly. So overall, lost 1 weekly flight, but not a huge change there for Spirit. Southwest, you had both Cancun and Albuquerque. Both those seasonal services resumed. Cancun is a 1 daily. Albuquerque just a Sunday only. You have Phoenix down to a 4 daily from a 5 daily. But then the rest being good news. Oklahoma City up 2 weekly flights to a 6 weekly from a 4 weekly. You got Baltimore up 6 weekly flights, and Orlando up an additional 8 weekly flights. So really, really cool to see that right there. And then the final bit of news we have to go over here is for Frontier Airlines. Frontier, Las Vegas and Denver both down to a 3 weekly from a 4 weekly. Orlando is down to a 2 weekly from a 3 weekly. But then you had that Atlanta service begin, I think it was May 27th, as a 2 weekly A320 there. So really, really cool to have that. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe, as it will help me out. Really appreciate the support you guys have been giving me recently. I know uploads have been super spotty the past couple months. I really haven't been uploading much. Just been super busy. Got out of school probably about like a week or something ago. But really just trying to get a ton of updates right now. Pretty much the back end of June, we'll have from the day I'm recording. I'm actually going to post this the day of recording. So from now until the end of June, hopefully should have 6 or 7 videos out. So we should be getting quite a few videos out, and then July we'll have quite a bit of stuff as well. So really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all in the next one.